Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. Oh, Westwood, I left you on here. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm so distracted. Okay, I'm
I'm
sorry.
with
I
you.
am super distracted, but excited. I'm not going to even play the intro then. Who
That's
cares? We're just
fine.
going to throw caution to the wind. So it's Friday. Make sure you grab something red to remember everyone deployed RED. Every Friday, we try to give a shout out and support our servicemen and women and their families that are basically serving alongside of them, as Uncle Cliff talked about in one of his recent Substacks. Wow. There's a lot going on.
A little bit.
It's kind of exciting. I don't even know where to start first. Well, I guess I'll start with, Uncle Cliff is doing a chemtrail challenge. He's giving away
Oh, yes.
three eagles, 3 1-ounce gold
Yes.
eagles, I believe. And today was like someone was weaving in the sky in Oklahoma City. I don't know how
Rigged.
it was where you were. Did you go outside and look? Did you look up?
I did. It didn't look too bad. I mean, it was, a little bit. Mostly, we have a lot of clouds today, though, so it's just big puffy clouds. Now you can go look at the sun if you've got supposedly if you still have your eclipse glasses, you can go look at the sun and see the stuff exploding off of it.
Wow, I found a website. So there were 5. I'm gonna try to say this. I'm having another thought in my head that I won't say publicly. Someone came and threatened us with at an event recently. If we didn't talk to them, and so now there are 5 coronal mass ejections that recently went off on the surface of the sun. The energies are supposed to arrive here, ironically, around 6 o'clock Central, 7 Eastern, which is when Westwood was like, well, we better hurry up and do the video before we lose all radio communication. And everybody's kind of joking about it and lighthearted, but it's not like this never happened. There was the Carrington effect. That's
Was that like
documented.
1851 or something?
It
1859?
was in the late 1800s. I can't remember the
1859,
date.
maybe. I don't know.
And when you go to, so I'm playing around looking for stuff, and I was trying to find stuff for Canon because he wanted to see the Aurora Borealis, because they're saying you will
Yes.
most likely tonight be able to see it as far south as Alabama and Southern California. Yeah, there you go. And so I was looking and I found this website, which is a .gov website. I don't know if that gives it more about validity or less.
Oh, yes.
But this is the Space Weather Conditions, Space Weather Prediction Center with NOAA and the National Weather Service. Like I said, it is a .gov website. It's the NOAA website. And so down at the bottom, I noticed that it had these dashboards. You can look for the Aurora Borealis, and it gives you information and where you're most likely to see tonight and tomorrow night. It looks like tonight it goes a little bit further south, or it's a little more viewable further south in the US. But then there are these Aurora forecast predictions. There's a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere. And this is really interesting as it plays. You can see the time up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 UTC. I don't know what UTC is. Is that
Universal Time something?
Is that close to Central or is that Eastern?
No, it's probably like Greenwich time, like Greenwich, England time. That whatever they call it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
But if you watch as it gets close, look at that blow up. Whew. And it gets closer to 21, 22. So military time, of course. So by whatever midnight of Greenwich, like it's this red zone.
5 or 6 hours ahead of us.
Okay.
I think.
So then that would be tomorrow morning, really. More than.
No. They're ahead of us. So if it's like midnight there, it'd be like 6 or 7 here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I was going the wrong way. Yeah, so about 6 Central time.
We're bringing it to you live right now.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting. Then I found this other chart What's driving the aurora? Well, it's these red planetary index, K index, and they're showing about 6 o'clock. Um, well, that's universal time again. So that if it's ahead 6, then it would be 12. So it kicked off around noon our time and got into this red data, and it's just going ballistic. So the KPs, which
It's
are
killing me. I feel it. I hear it's hitting me.
are you feeling them?
Oh man, today I'm just
Yeah, I've been
walked
super
out
ugh.
exhausted. I just feel
Mhm.
drained and exhausted. Need to
Maybe
pep
that's
up.
part of my problem. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a stomach ache today. I didn't feel good. I was just like, ugh, feeling
And
down
so
in
what do I do to fix it? Have a cigar and some Crown Royal.
a little vodka never hurt.
Well, good to go.
As well. So this is where they're talking about like how do changes in KP affect the aurora. But I thought this was interesting. So on this dashboards, you can go down, look at the aurora, you can look at aviation, electric power. That's concerning. So this is still the K index and them anticipating. I guess this is some of the flares coming in.
Flares. Woo!
Woo! I need a drink. Electric power, emergency management. Okay, this was the other part that I thought was wild. So region absorption prediction. Notice the highest frequency affected by 1 dB absorption is mostly the US. It's not really affecting South America, Africa, Europe, even Australia. But the US is going to be bombarded by these frequencies.
And yeah, I don't know how powerful they are in
I don't
comparison, because they do happen all the time. They do. Somebody in the chat saying that. Yeah, they do. But it's just I don't know how powerful this is compared to other things
Well, I
that
think that's
occur.
where they were showing that
Well, they're probably
chart.
talking about it. Yeah, it's
The
higher than normal.
yeah, the
Right.
chart was showing.
One of these times, it's going to happen.
Well,
We're going to go off air. That'll be it.
well, that may not be why, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was also Trump said something today about if he doesn't win, and I wonder if he was talking about the court case or because I really don't think he was talking about the election. But I could be totally wrong. He said, you will see the biggest market crash, bigger than 1929.
The biggest, huge. If I don't get
Yeah.
elected,
And Uncle
he
Cliff's
said that
dad,
back in 2016, didn't he? If he didn't get elected, that you would see the market crash, and then he got elected, and then it pumped, and then so I don't know.
we all got a chance to get educated and buy crypto. This is also calling, this is the satellite link. So it's saying
satellite
hazard quotients. And it gets into all this total dose. I don't know. It just seems very odd.
Ramp it up, ramp it up. I don't know. All I know is that it's probably other things, of course, but I'm just happens to be coincidental for me. I woke up this morning exhausted. I mean, just felt exhausted. I'm like, what the frick? And I look at my mask because I'm usually like, okay, the mask fell off, or I took it off, ripped it off in the middle of the night, or it stopped running for whatever reason. No, it's running, blowing air, and I'm like, is this thing working or not? Because I feel terrible, killing me here.
It's also small business, National Small Business Day, or at least maybe it's not national. I know it is in Oklahoma. So please go shop at a small business this weekend. You can check out my store in the description.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a small business.
There you go.
Also, I don't know. There's just so many things right now. Uncle Cliff's data talked about the bank failures.
18th.
this month.
18th? May 18th?
That's next weekend.
Monday. Isn't it? Is that a Monday? I don't know.
He said there would be a Black Tuesday, not a Black Monday. So I wonder if that's the stock market crash and then that triggers the bank run, or if those two things are related at all.
I didn't see the video, but I can't even think. USAWatchdog.com. Greg.
Yeah.
What's his name? Last name?
Greg.
Can't even think of it. Not Manarino.
No.
Anyway, he had Martin Armstrong on. Who it was? He's always a doom and gloomer, and he's to that point where he's thinking that the next dollar will collapse between 2025, 2027. At this point, I don't know. He says, "Get 2 years worth of food."
Wow.
Look out.
The magnetosphere. And this is the magnetic pole. Okay, so this takes me down the next rabbit hole. I have been watching Terrence Howard way too much, probably. Yeah. And so he was talking about, remember when the tornadoes switched last week or week before last, whenever it was? And he talked about that in this plane of reality, we really live in a 2D world. We don't realize it because we believe in straight lines. There are no straight lines. He can mathematically prove there's no straight lines. We are not energy. We are a frequency.
Waves.
And we're waves.
Right,
and waves cause when they go out and then they don't cause a peak until they contract, till they come back together. And that's kind of what we are. We're the wave. And then he said, yes, that way. Everyone stand up. Okay. We're, you know how Uncle Cliff educated all of us that we're not spinning around the sun like this. We're actually a vortice, being pulled
like a funnel. It's kind of going.
Being pulled through space.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense. Like if you think about it, it's so in our face. Like we've just been so dumbed down. How does water go down in a toilet?
It
doesn't drop straight down. It goes in a vortice.
All right.
There was other things that I was thinking of earlier today. And I was like, oh my gosh, it is so in our face how we have been lied to, that we've been told, no, just stay in your 2D world. But we are, the way he explains it.
It's going to get curvy, everybody. We're going to.
Yeah. All the waves and the curves. But so he was saying, what are you showing? I just missed it.
That was a little Crown Royal.
Getting a refill. Okay. Greg Hunter. Thank you, Blind Dave.
Hunter. Yes. Hunter. How could I forget Hunter? How could we forget the white powder in the White House? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yes. And on next Monday, I Am for I Am is going to join me for a show. So I'm excited because he is an agorist, which we'll let him decide what it tell you guys all about it. But it's a very interesting mindset, and that and many other things I want to talk to him about. But I digress. So he was saying that in the, that the swirl of motion moving forward moves from north to east, and that is electricity or energy. But there's magnetism, which is oppositely pulling on us at all times, that when those move south and west. So if you see a vortice of something, a tornado or whatever, you can tell whether it's being magnetically pulled or if it is from energy being pushed forward, depending on the direction of it. I don't know. It's very
like the direction, like if it's going north.
Right,
east,
traveling, not spinning.
South,
not how it's spinning, but how it's traveling.
Gotcha. Yeah. I got to get my head around that.
Yeah, sorry. So the tornadoes turned, and they were continuing to spin the way that we usually see them spin or circulate, but the direction changed to a very unusual direction. Yeah. And it went up, back, and then started going down. And so the weather guys were all freaking out about it. It was really interesting.
Weather geeking out.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I do know, what is it, some of the, native tribes, usually in the Southwest, that's coming to my mind. I don't know if it's Hopi or Navajo or something. As far as the direction of the spin of, they call them whirlwinds, I think.
Oh. Winds
dust
of change.
devils, dirt devils. You've seen those things before. I see them all the time out here in the fields. I mean, so these things are happening all the time. They're like mini tornadoes, tiny tornadoes, and they'll come through, and you'll see the corn stalks get blown. And they said that depending upon the rotation of the dirt devil, dust devil, it's actually a spirit. And if it goes one direction, it's an evil spirit. If it goes the other direction, it's a positive spirit, I guess you could say, or a good.
Really?
Yeah. I learned that somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I channeled that. Maybe I dreamt it. I don't know. But I know it's part of my truth for whatever reason. I don't know.
And it resonates with you.
Yeah. So I'm like, because I see them all the time, especially in the fall after they harvest. But I was standing, and one went through me once. It was kind of weird. This is like, I thought it was like major wind gust or something. I'm like, then it went away, and I'm like, and I watch it.
Were you covered with slime afterwards, like on Ghostbusters?
It slimed me. Ectoplasm everywhere. It's crazy. That gets back to the whole plasma theory of the universe too. You think about that. Is it plasma based? And anyway.
No, I'm just really down this rabbit hole about the whole thing. And in our homeschooling, they didn't have a math curriculum previously. You had to like supplement and come up with something it was very limited. They had some, but it was very limited. So you had to supplement and do other things for your children. Well, all of a sudden they have this math map, and they're showing us pictures of like art. And I'm like, what the heck does this have to do with math? How is this going to get me to teach my child math? But if we aren't just memorizing that 1 times 1 is 1, which 1 times 1 should be 2, actually, is what he said.
Blowing my mind now.
Well, let him go.
First one.
Watch the thing and watch the loop of 2. There's a loop around 2. And that's part of it's because we're in this 2D world, is what I understood. But anyway, we'll see.
Whew.
Okay, this is my other point.
I drink. I'm just like,
I know it starts sounding crazy because it's something we weren't told before.
Right. You got to get your mind around it because you're conditioned to a certain way, a train of thought, and you're on that train, and there's a cliff at the end of the train tracks.
Training of thought. I
would
even
training.
All the memorization, all the, it is because they told you it is, and you just say yes, ma'am, and you shut up and you do it. And it made
my
me
piece of paper.
Yes.
It's like a Freeman put on the wall.
Yeah, and that makes you smart.
Yes.
And in debt.
Special.
You're special.
I'm specialer than you.
Until they devalue it by printing one for everyone, which is what they've done with the dollar. I also watched somebody hijacked Andy Schectman's video, and oh gosh, what was that guy's name? Somebody I don't usually watch, but he was really brilliant. Older guy. I can't remember. But anyway, he talked about, yes, that's what they were talking about, silver and gold. And they said the only way out of this debt system is to debase the currency that holds all the debt. That's what they're doing. Like, it's a painful process. We're all going through hyperinflation.
And you wonder why everybody's angry at Mike Johnson. And it's like, well, I'm just doing my job. I'm accelerating the debt. Keep voting on programs, and let's do this. Let's get it on.
And you know what? The faster he dumps the dollar and values
more of a jerk we think he is, the more anti-American we think he is, the faster it's going to implode the Fed.
It is. Because the Fed actually holds the debt through those Fed notes. And so the more they print, the more they devalue that dollar to the point that, sure, we can pay it off because we can pay it off with gold now. Not these Fed dollars that are worth nothing.
$1 million gold piece.
Yeah.
That's why I say, the whole platinum coin thing, maybe it's not such a bad idea. Just, create a bunch of them and say, okay, pay all this off, done, start over.
Well, the Office of Military Settlements, I've shared that document on the show before, I believe. If not, I put it in Patreon, and I've shared it with some people that I trust. And they're like, it's completely possible. And it's possible that the debt has been paid, and we're just kind of playing it out.
And I know
and giving everyone a chance.
Yelling at me about platinum coins not being sound money in a real dollar. I get it. I know. Okay, fine. Revalue silver to $1 million each.
Yeah, pick your poison. Copper. I don't care.
Whatever. Yeah, constitutional money, silver.
Well, if we have the solar flare thing and all the power goes out here in about 20 minutes, or or maybe we still have power, but we don't have radio frequencies. They also showed there was one map that
Make sure
showed
you enough cigars
satellites
out here.
going out.
Hang on. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I got enough cigars. I'm good. I'll make it.
You'll make it at least for
butane. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. They were also showing satellites that could go out or be affected by the frequencies. And if any of that happens, then, during the Carrington event, all of the electric lines were fried.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took
telegraph lines,
all of that. It took time to rebuild that. But I don't know if it zaps the copper or the whatever metals that are in it, or if they're still usable, just have to be
restrung.
I
don't know. I don't know either.
But
I don't know much.
Interesting.
I'm just here having a drink or two or three.
And it all sounds a little wackadoo, but you know what? I'm embracing the wackadoo and the woo more, because Sean said something on World Blockchain Roundtable. He said we were doing the what's right and wrong in blockchain, and he said education. And then we started having this discussion, and I was like, you know what, though? Education was halted. He said, because one of the most important things, or one of the best things about blockchain, is it causes you to ask why the dollar's broken. Why something else? Like you had held up the why when we first started. Why? It causes you to say, why? Why crypto? Why? Because the dollar is broken.
Can you tell I've been to Hobby Lobby?
You live in the Hobby Lobby?
I went to Hobby Lobby. Yeah, I got these too.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, I like my letters I picked up. Yeah.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Found some props. Anyway.
I love it.
On clearance.
Good. I was going to say, tell me.
Clearance. Well, they all got the red tags. I don't pay full price. And when it goes 90% off, now I'm interested.
Okay. Now let's talk. Okay.
Let's talk.
But it's a great point, because like for us, that was our mom gave us Litecoin. We said why, and then that led us down this rabbit hole that is truth, and get you out of that trained, programmed, indoctrinated thinking. Because once you learn the Federal Reserve isn't federal and has no reserves, and the IRS is a private entity out of Puerto Rico, and we can go on and on and on. When you learn all of that, then you can be set free from asking permission from people who have no power over you. Yeah. But if you never are introduced to a solution or an alternative, you don't ask the question why. Right,
because you're just like, man, everything's screwed up. Why am I paying so much for this bread? Why is my dollar not buying as much? I used to buy a Snicker bar for 35 cents, and now it's half the size, and it's like $2.50. It's like, what? And so we don't get it. Everybody complains, and it's like, well, do something, fix it, but they don't understand how it needs to be fixed. And it's just, I boiled this down because Mike Johnson's coming like in the beginning of June for a couple of the Republican counties here where I'm at, and I thought, do I muster up the energy and go heckle him or not? Bullhorn him or something. And then I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, what would I say? Because you only got a limited time. You might make the news. And I'm thinking, what would I say? And I'd be like, these dollars aren't worth anything, and you can print them out at nothing. Why are we paying taxes out of our energy? Why don't you just print the money? You know what I mean? It's just like, the game. Why are you playing this game?
I have the answer for you, because I believe he's one of the individuals that has dual citizenship.
I can see that.
I believe that I don't have proof of that, but I believe that he is a dual citizen of Israel.
No, that wouldn't surprise me. A lot of them are. It doesn't necessarily. I mean, it could be any. Like I've said before, it could be any country, but it just seems like for whatever reason, they all align and back Israel without question, and that makes me think, why?
Why?
Why is it that that's so important? And don't tell me because God's chosen people and all that stuff. Don't give me that. That's not it.
No, because God made all of us. God is the creator and made all of us. Yeah. So that's some BS.
So I'm not chosen. I'm not special. You're telling me I'm not special now?
You're not.
All the talking we've been doing, you're telling me I'm not special.
We're all special.
I feel like I've been on multiple dates and it's not going anywhere. I'm just paying for a bunch of dinners. Something's got to give at some point. I'm not special? Okay.
We're just friends. I'll keep you in the
Yeah.
friend zone. You're
Yeah.
in God's friend zone. Yeah.
Right. Fine, get the salad. That's it. You ain't getting dinner. No.
It's a salad. Oh God. No dessert for you.
It's
When
like
they come to the
Seinfeld. It's
table,
like,
would
this
you
is
like
the
dessert?
meal. This is the meal. No, anyway, we're not going. Anyway, this is it.
Oh my gosh. Too
All right.
funny. All right. I don't know. What else is going on?
Oh my. Let's see what we got. Yes, Clint, you can ride the little bus. Yeah, exactly. I used to have a short bus. I drove a short bus. Had a lot of people on the short bus. Anyway.
I was proud to ride the short bus.
Yes, you were on the short bus. I got a picture of you on the short bus with me, driving the short bus.
Yep. Good stuff. So, oh gosh, there's so many things going on. I'm so distracted.
I know. It is. It's like mass distraction. Weapon of mass distraction. You know, that's basically what we're dealing with. Weapons of mass distraction. What are we going to do about it? Send in the troops. Stop it.
Well,
Military is the only way.
Crypto's the answer. Oh wait, did I not change that to the right?
Whiskey, dogs, and cigars.
Check out all the gold on Trump when he announced that he was for crypto.
NFTs are wonderful. Sorry.
Biden doesn't even want it. If you ask Biden, sir, are you for or against crypto? What's that? What the? Get me off the stage. He's saying, get me off the stage.
That gold
Now, he
tie,
has no
gold
idea, but,
here,
look,
gold hair.
Gensler is very much against it. The Democrats
Gensler's
are very much against it.
Democrats
And I say
against
this, a lot of people are very much for it. Probably a lot of the people in this group. And I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it. And if you like crypto in any form, and it comes in a lot of different forms. If you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump. They are against it.
So his point of saying in any form, it comes in many forms. I think that is an opportunity for freedom because then we, the people, choose what coin.
Right, it's up to you. You choose. You choose any form you want. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. That's the thing. You know, you look at BitPay. People choose to use Litecoin, 41% last month over every other crypto, double what Bitcoin was used. People choose Litecoin. You want to choose Litecoin? Fine. Want to choose XRP? Fine. Choose XRP. I don't know why you would, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I would not choose that. But
don't have to. Many different kinds of crypto.
And I think they did clean that up, to be honest.
That's fine.
It's possible that was cleaned up and it is a safe alternative for banks to transact with, but their history there is like.
It's not even that. It's not for me.
I met that little creepy guy at Acapulco and just my hair stood on end because just super
trust
creepy.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Trust yourself. Trust your instincts.
Well, and I do trust myself. I love Trump and because I love what he stands for, just like I love you because I love what you stand for. But I also know it's my job to save myself. And I thought this other, let's see if we can play this one. This one where the kid asks him, and he looks like the little Google guy from Wall Street Bets or whatever. What is this doing? Get out of there. No, I don't want to open Telegram. Stop. Can you guys see this okay? Oh, here they go. All the outages being warned. Can you see that? Yeah.
I see it.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong page. People are sending me stuff like crazy.
A lot of the smartest people in crypto are moving their businesses out of the U.S. because they're scared of the U.S.'s regulations.
Because of the hostility.
Correct.
Yeah, crypto is moving out of the U.S. because of hostility toward crypto.
Correct. So what are you going to do to stop it?
Well, we'll stop it because I don't want that. I want that. If we're going to embrace it, we have to let them be here.
Yes, sir.
I love it. I love that. But he specifically talks about the regulation, the hostility towards
innovation. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the agencies. You know, the SEC. You know, he's talking about how there's all kinds of them. You know, it's just the Congress.
Well, who's arresting Senator Veer right now?
Say that again.
Who just arrested Veer? Another 3-letter agency that wasn't the SEC.
Which one did it? Was it the
The I.
Oh, was it the? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, see, I'm telling you right now.
Was it the
out.
F or the I?
No, the problem is, this is just me right now. I'm telling you, I'm too completely discombobulated because I got up this morning, I take my shower, I'm like, yep. I get out of the shower, like I didn't shave. I'm like, why didn't I shave? I was gonna, it's just like,
Your mind is on so many things. So the other thing I'm still seeing is all these car wrecks and stuff. So everybody be safe out there, because that was one of Cliff High's data points, was that as the normies get hit with some real hard truths, they are going to be so distracted that there's going to be accidents, whether those are accidents or just distracted driving. So
distraccidents. Yeah. You wonder why I don't want to leave the house. We went somewhere yesterday, and I'm in the middle of town, stoplights and people, and it's not even that busy. And I'm like sitting at a stoplight like this. When I look at my oldest daughter, and I said, "This is why I don't come to the city."
Is she home?
Yeah, she's home. Yeah, I said, "This is why I don't go to the city. I can't do this. I can't sit here at a stoplight and just wait."
Yeah.
I just
no. It's Charlie's the same way.
Drives me nuts.
Yes. Why am I waiting? I'm waiting for a light to tell me.
Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to tell me to go, and I'm like,
I am perfectly capable of looking and seeing if it's clear to go. Yeah. Oh.
Wow. Yeah. Anyway, gravel roads. I like the gravel roads. You can see people coming on the gravel roads.
That's true.
All the puff of smoke, dragging.
Road to your house one day.
You did. You took a gravel road, and it's like, why are the maps telling me to go down this gravel road? I don't know. Because you had to experience it. How to get there? Hey, I got my Litecoin shirt on. Yeah, I have my Litecoin chicken shirt on.
I like it.
84million.com. Get it. You can pay with Litecoin. And I noticed yesterday, you didn't talk about it on the show last night, I don't think, unless I missed it, that the Litecoin Summit, if you buy a ticket right now, Charlie Lee is loading up ballet coins with Litecoin. And I think what I saw from the Litecoin Foundation, it's from the Genesis block of Litecoin. That Litecoin, the first block of Litecoin in 2011. The way I took it. He's pulling it off of it and putting it on these little coins you can get when you buy a ticket. I'm like, holy crap, really?
That is very cool.
Yeah.
To have a Genesis ticket.
Yeah, we have a creator of a cryptocurrency that actually doesn't hold the cryptocurrency, that's divested himself from it. However, he apparently mined out the first Genesis block in creating it, and he's giving it away. Whereas we've got other creators that have 1 million of the coins, and we don't even know that. Mm-hmm. And when that's going to come out? It's kind of dangerous. I don't know. I'd rather have the guy that's not involved in all that anymore. So anyway.
So when people say he sold at the top, he still holds the original mined.
Probably, yeah. I would too. I mean, he's a collector. I'd imagine I'd take the Genesis block and store that away.
Well, I wasn't gonna go, but now I might go.
I know that's pretty cool. If I read it right, that's the way I took it. But I mean, it sounded like a pretty big deal. The first Litecoin Summit that somebody did that, I don't know who it was, donated 0.1 Litecoin to the card that you carry around your neck, the badge. And there's on the back, you can peel it off, and there's 1.1 Litecoin on that. And so they're kind of going back to that mindset to where you got a collectible where it's got Litecoin, real Litecoin.
That's awesome. I love
that. Use at some point. I never used it. I never peeled it off. It's like a relic to me. I'm keeping that son of a gun. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it goes to $1 million. I'm going to keep that. That's like super valuable.
In the bank. Mm-hmm. In the bank on the blockchain. Did you see where not just Barron, but a lot of the Trump kiddos were selected as Florida delegates to the Republican convention?
See, they're kind of getting it. They're realizing, okay, we're going to play politics now because you guys, they know how to play politics, the establishment. Mm-hmm. So they're like, okay, fine. If we get the right people in the Republican convention, then we can kind of steer the direction instead of steering it to the left like they've been doing. Now we're going to take it a different direction. So
it's not who votes; it's who counts the votes.
Yeah, and think about this. Here's another thing. Here I am. I'm riffing. Okay. I don't even know. I'm going off a little bit because I've seen more and more people. Fluoride in the water. A lot of towns have been taking it out. A lot of counties have been taking it out. A lot of districts are saying, "Why are we putting this in there? Why are we doing this?" And I mean, it's mainstream news now, and they're trying to counter it with, well, dentist. You get a dentist on there that says, well, it's it's a naturally occurring element. That's, you know, studies have shown that it helps people's teeth. And it's like, okay, stop right there. Full stop. Yes, fluoride is a naturally occurring, you know, organism, whatever you want to call it, chemical. I don't even know. I'm not a freaking scientist. But there's sodium fluoride and there's calcium fluoride. One of those, I think, is naturally occurring. Another one is a byproduct of heavy industry. And I'm pretty sure what they're putting in the water with skull and crossbones on the bag when you pour it in is not the one that's naturally occurring. So it may help your teeth if it's a naturally occurring one, but if it's the one that comes as a byproduct that they put in there to basically, you know, sell that garbage that they were just dumping somewhere, now they're putting it in the water supply and selling it. Pretty sure that's probably not the good one. And now that's unwinding, just like the whole prick in the arm thing's unwinding.
Yeah,
And,
AstraZeneca was pulled off the market.
yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
And
But
we
that's
got
where I
Burt's
think
out
they
there
might-
saying, yeah.
I
go ahead.
wonder if they're using this solar event to be a time marker or a timestamp to say, oh no, AstraZeneca was pulled, so it's no longer used. So anybody that gets turbo cancer, it's because of that solar flare and the radiation you experienced.
But it's probably the
From that-
eclipse. We looked at the eclipse with Chinese glasses, and
Yes.
oh, you got eye cancer or something, or brain cancer.
You
know,
shouldn't
because
have
of it.
looked at the eclipse.
Ah,
And you
you
should
know.
have gone outside to look at the aurora borealis because now
it's
you've
all
been
that radiation
exposed
is
to
going to get you.
and that's why you have turbo cancer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we had, well, I think it was Pfizer, bought a company that specializes in curing turbo cancers, knowing full well that, you know, possibly something they produced and government funded to roll out might cause something like that. So, you know, let's buy the thing that cures it. And anyway,
Evil.
trust yourself. Don't. If you've got Chris Cuomo, the CNN dude, you know, that the whole time, you know, he's dogging everybody, you know, saying that, oh my gosh, you know, you people that aren't getting the prick, you're the problem. And now he comes out and says, well, I wish we had more information. Well, we were going by the information that we were told, and we need to really look into this now. Yeah, we need to check this out. Yeah, because you're the dude that was part of the problem, getting paid and getting your $1 million mansion, you know, and all the crap. I mean, dude, these people, and then Bill Maher is doing the same thing. Oh, well, you know, Mr. Red Shoes himself. You know, he's doing the same thing. Well, you know, we didn't know. And these people, they kind of maybe lied to us, or they didn't give us the whole truth, or, you know, now we need to really investigate that. Just like they had a 9/11 investigation, just like they had a Warren Commission. I mean, it's
But
just
the
like, really?
investigation is just to write a report to shut everything else down.
Pretty much. Look, we're doing our job. We're going to have hearings.
Yeah, this is our narrative. This is the truth. If you go against this or think for yourself, if you use any critical thinking, then you are anti-Semitic. Everyone's anti-Semitic or racist.
You know, that's another thing. And I was wondering where this was going. This is like a year ago. There's these commercials that say, oh, anti-Semitism is a bad thing, you know, and they're having these ads out. And I'm like, why is everybody talking about this? Why is this such a big thing? You know, it's like, do I see people like going down the street, you know, in my daily life saying, oh my gosh, you know, it's their fault, you know, and it's like, no, they're planting the seeds, and then now we've got this thing going on, and oh my gosh.
Now it's illegal to say that the Jews killed Jesus.
Oh, look into the Sanhedrin Council, you know, and then maybe you'll, you know, do your little history on, you know, who really, you know, handed him over.
These are my new mixers.
What is it?
Waterloo.
Waterloo. Oh, a little Napoleonic action
These
going
are
on.
my new mixers for the summer. Summer berry, red, white, and blue. Waterloo. That was a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody needs to meet a Waterloo. You know, some of these vampires need to meet their Waterloo. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
For sure.
that's all I know about history. Just a few.
That's all I know about that. Hey, speaking of history, and Illinois and Oklahoma connected, the Potawatomi County or tribe, which is my husband is a card-carrying member, as well as his mother and his children, have successfully moved forward on making claims in their original tribal lands in Illinois. And so Potawatomi is like Shawnee area, which is like just south and east.
There's a Shawnee National Forest down there, and I hear there's dogmen in it. Just, you know, if you want to explore it, I'll get into that.
There might be. But this was exciting to me. And when I opened up the article, I hope I can open the article on this one. maybe I can. Sure, this haven't said. I thought this was really interesting. They said they're regaining stolen land from 1849. There's a bunch of stuff that is playing back to the late 18 or mid 1800s right now. If you watch,
Basically pre-Civil War, because that's when everything changed. I mean, I was thinking the Carrington event was 1859, and then all of a sudden, oh, we got a Civil War. You know, it's almost like, oh, you know, like you're saying, time markers, you know, that fit in nicely.
it's like we're time travelers and we're doing those chapter books where it's like,
Yeah.
if you want this, go back to 1849.
Yeah.
If you want that, turn to page, whatever, like
Mhm.
pages in a book for our story. But
Choose your own adventure. Trust yourself.
choose your adventure. It said that it all changed last week when the U.S. Department of Interior placed portions of the, I'm not going to even try to say it, reservation land in DeKalb County in trust for Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation, making it the only federally recognized tribal nation in Illinois, and making Illinois the 35th state with a federally recognized Indian reservation. 35 is a great number, just so you know.
Okay.
I'm not done yet. Hold on.
No, go
They
ahead.
are telling, I do want to talk about this part, and then I want you to run with it. But they're saying accepting the transfer of the deeds from us and placing these 130 acres into the trust, U.S. Department of Interior has put the government on a path to correct a historical injustice, giving the generations of Potawatomi the opportunity to cultivate economic self-sufficiency in our homeland. This confirms the land as, quote, Indian country and solidifies jurisdictional boundaries, jurisdiction. I've been talking about jurisdiction. I've been screaming about jurisdiction since I started watching all this stuff with Native Americans. This is a process we're still pursuing. As we have publicly agreed that all current homeowners on the remaining reservation land will continue to retain title to their land and live in their homes undisturbed, because no one understands what it feels like to lose a place you call home better than the Indians. So I think this is a really interesting, and then they talk about what they will control. They have jurisdiction within their reservations over criminal law enforcement, over Indians, civil regulatory authority over business activities, environmental and natural resource management, which we saw the
big.
United States transfer all those dams and energy plants to the Indians on the West Coast recently. Hunting and fishing, education, and social welfare will be present and attentive and oversee a seamless transition of public services. Where have we heard that? A seamless transition. That sounds familiar. Here for the transfer of power to we the people. Is this part of giving the power back to we the people? Anyway.
Rand. He's probably excited about that. The casino popping up soon. That's stereotypical, you know, the casino. You're gonna have cigarettes and casinos everywhere, you know.
No. It's about, that's not what it's about.
No, it's really when you start getting into the whole sovereign thing and what is sovereign land, what is it? You know, it's kind of a might makes right scenario to where whatever government has enough military force that steps onto the land kind of determines who really owns the land and has jurisdiction over the land. And now they're doing it right to where it's like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have excuse me, we probably shouldn't have come over here and, you know, like, you know, killed y'all and moved y'all and transplanted all of you. And, you know, now you get your land back. Well, that should extrapolate itself out to the individual too. It's like, why does it the government has to give me authority that, you know, this is the property, you know, my land. The property is probably the wrong word, but the land, you know, why are you like taking, you know, an envelope full of cash every year from me?
Well, and I think it's insane.
Live on the land.
Like, do I live on this land? Do I own this land or do I not? Because, you know, my mom and dad did oil and gas work for years and years. So they pull title and then with the oil and gas companies and they go talk to the people about mineral rights. Well, a lot of us have been moved or have moved to cities. I own this land, but I don't own the mineral rights on this land. Who does? I don't even know who owns the mineral rights on my little lot in my suburb neighborhood. But I know I'm not allowed to have a water well, which is insane to me, other than I I don't own the mineral rights. I don't own the. If you guys ever watched the movie, oh God, Cher was in it. Charlie loves the movie.
Share
That stripper movie.
Witches of Eastwick, striptease.
No. It's Burlesque.
Oh, Burlesque. That's a good movie with
Great movie, great music.
what's the other?
Christina Aguilera's
That's
in it.
it.
Yeah.
Genie in a bottle, baby.
But they talk about air rights, and that's what saves the business is them becoming educated that they own the air rights above the building, which is probably ends up being the most valuable thing about their location because people want the view and have built these, monstrous property. So once we have that knowledge about what rights we have, whether it's air rights, mineral rights, our personal rights, our rights to our IP that have been stolen from us and misused, once we can have this awakening of understanding what we possess, that we don't have to ask permission for somebody that to something that is our right, that is our property.
Right. If you're cultivating it and you're living on it and you're doing your thing with it, and I mean, why is that not yours? That's all government did. I mean, they go in and they kill people and take the land and say, oh, it's ours. And then they say, okay, we're going to put boundaries on it and we're going to give it to you now. And so it's always been kind of that thing. Just like when we come over here to the New World, governments were fighting over it, right. Who France owns it, England owns it, Spain, they can own it, this and that, Russia, even China, in the West. I mean, so who really owns it? And then it came down to, well, who's got the most firepower? And then they get it, and then they're like, okay, now we're going to put a different layer on it, and we're going to say that divide it up and, do this, you get this square, you get that square, and I don't know. It's a big, long discussion, but I mean, it's you think about when people first came over here, they got charters. The king or the queen would give a charter and say, well, even though they had no right to it, they're like, well, yeah, you can go over there and take it.
Authority.
Put your flag on it.
Well, and that's the exact point that I was going to bring up with Thuran saying you certainly don't own the air rights to your land because they keep spraying. Well, in Tennessee, they just passed a law that they can't do that. And just because someone is violating your rights doesn't mean they're not your rights. Think about Reggie Middleton and his patents. Sure.
And you got to fight for your right to party on the land.
Right. His patents stand, but somebody may be violating it. That doesn't mean it's not valid or true. You may have to fight for it. But.
Think about this with technology. So Tennessee, they got all these borders, it goes east to west, big long state. And they say they got the technology, and at the border, they just like put this like shield up. The planes go, they try and fly over.
Okay, so Mike Johnson made the weirdest comment, and I have tried to look all over to find the video because I was watching it really late. And he said in Israel right now, they are building an ice wall to fight the fire. And he literally said ice wall. And I was like, did he just say that last part out loud?
Yeah, why would you say that language?
That was very weird. So if anybody can find that video or sees it, please send it to me. He said in Israel right now, they're building an ice wall. And we all know like the Game of Thrones thing and the ice wall. Yeah. And that, there's people that believe, I don't know, does that go along with flat earth? I can't remember.
Yeah, because the theory behind flat earth is that, it's flat and you maybe have a dome on it. It could be water, it could be whatever, dome that you can't penetrate. And then, and so you take the map of the earth, it's a globe, and you go like this. And then here's the North Pole in the center, and then Antarctica then is all the way around. So, it's at the bottom, and then if you do this, and so now Antarctica that's down here gets
on top.
And then it's like all the way around like an ice wall.
Oh, I see. It's
spread out. And then the thought is there are other worlds beyond the ice wall that go further and further and rings and rings and rings that go way out. And yeah, that's the thinking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it much, but I just thought it was very strange for him to say ice wall because we're big Game of Thrones people. Also, everybody.
It's all a Game of Thrones.
Follow Dracaria on Twitter. My buddies at Dragon Chain are doing a really fun project.
And there were dragons in Game of Thrones too. Remember? So yeah.
That's what's making me think of that. Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
Shame. We need to walk everybody. They need the walk of shame. All the DC politicians. Shame, shame,
Yes.
shame, shame.
And
shame.
walk them to the gallows and they can
Yes.
end their shame there.
Burn them. The dragon burn them up.
hmm That's fine to me. The boys are talking about the UN map.
Yeah, exactly. The Air Force One. They got a map in the background. You know, that's got that weird. And the UN, same thing. And it's like,
Is it the UN or NATO? Because Viva Flav said
it might be both. Might be both. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I mean, you look at the presidential map, you know, on Air Force One, and it's kind of folds into that. It's the same kind of thing. And it's like, why would they project the map that way? It's almost like, you know, and I don't know, it could be a big distraction. It could be this or that. It doesn't matter. All I know is that the truth is not the truth. What we've been taught is not the truth. And so we need to really kind of figure that stuff out.
That's where I love finding somebody that has a new form of thought. And I'm just listening. I'm listening to Terrence Howard. I'm not saying, oh, I'm waving the Terrence Howard flag and everything he says is true and right. But I'm open to listening and considering it and saying what parts resonate with me, what sounds right, what can I unlearn, or because you have to forget. That's another thing that he said. He talked about the forgetting so that you could remember. And that was in a Super Bowl commercial.
Yes.
That was
Friends.
somebody else was talking to me about that the other day. Forgetting so you could remember. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of what it is. If you really get around it, it's everything that you've been programmed. Think of yourself as a child before age 8. I think that's the number you've used. You know, that's after age 8.
Mind.
Yeah, yeah. When you're still in that, it's like, I can fly. I can do anything I want. You know, it's like, you know, I believe I can do it. I can talk to spirits, and they do. And then, you know, no, stop it. You know, it's just imaginary friend. Yeah, what are you doing? You know, and it's just, you know, you're still connected to the ethereal because you come here as a spiritual being, you know, directly from the heavens, from God, from the spiritual realm. And then you get slammed into this body, and you're like, whoa, you know, holy cow. You know, this is crazy. And but you still have that magical quality, that imagination, and not even imagination, but maybe a reality to where you're connected to it. And then we stamp it out and we're like, no, learn this, age 5, age 4 now, you know, preschool. This is what you need to learn. This is the truth. You need to listen to this. And you lose all that imaginative capabilities and faculties. And that's why I love art. And I hope we get to a world of art to where we just like.
Well, that's what that math map was. They were showing us art. And I was like, how is this helping? And then it made
some people see math in symbols and colors and frequencies.
Yeah, because our geometry is wrong. And but it was about 369, which is all the Tesla energy, which is waves, frequency, not direct lightning bolts. But anyway, I just think that we have to rethink all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've been lied to our whole lives. We know that, obviously. They lied to us about the money. I mean, that's the most fundamental thing. And so that's why crypto is important. That's why all these things we talk about are so important, because
that's why they needed to mess
with the can of worms that opens up, and you're like, wait a minute.
But
you're telling me
in that Terrence Howard video, he talks about the money specifically. And he says that's why they needed to, because when you go into the bank, and I can't remember how I should have paid more attention, but it's like 10 cents 10 times is $1. They give us 1, but we know it's 100 or something. Anyway, it's very confusing. But
just be like the mind of a babe, to where it's like, you know, a baby, to where, you know, a child, to where you give them $1 bill and you give them $100 bill, and you say, what's the difference? And they're like,
nothing. Yeah.
I mean, what's really different about it? You know, they have no concept of what it does, what it can do. Take foreign money. You look at foreign money, very beautiful artwork, this and that, but you don't know what it's worth. I mean, what's it worth? Well, what are you trained that it's worth? You know, that's really what it is. What are you indoctrinated to think that it's worth? That's all the value that it does have. But really, what's the real value of the stuff? What does it do? Well, you know, I can go get, you know, a $2.50 candy bar, you know, with a few of these bills, and then maybe get some change back if somebody knows how to make the change. Good luck with that. But it's just, you know, we've got to get to the point to where, that's why I'm just like, I'm fighting not to grow up. I'm trying to stay in this mindset of, sis, we are creative beings.
That's
Yes, we are.
probably more healthy, but really it's time to fight. Like it's time
It
to
is. And I mean, at some point you're just like, okay, enough. You people are all just vampires and you're just like stealing everything. You're just stealing all the light and you're stealing, and it's like, look at them. Look at them. They're all just decrepit, dark, decaying, rotting souls. And there's like oozing out of them. And you just look at it and you're just, man, these people, I mean, you can let them babysit your kids and then you're going to hang out with them.
I never sent nor received any information that was classified at the time it was sent and received.
Secretary Clinton said there was nothing marked classified on that. True?
That's not true. 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information at the time they were sent or received.
When I got to work as Secretary of State, I opted for convenience to use my personal email account because I thought it would be easier to carry just one device for my work and for my personal emails instead of two.
Secretary Clinton said she used just one device. Was that true?
She used multiple devices during the 4 years of her term as Secretary of State.
I didn't have to turn over anything. I chose to turn over 55,000 pages of my email, but we turned over everything that was work related, every single thing.
Secretary Clinton said all work-related emails were returned to the State Department. Was that true?
No, we found work-related emails, thousands, that were not returned.
What, like with a cloth or something? Well, no.
You get a subpoena, and after getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails, and then you acid wash them.
Everything he just said is absolutely false.
Secretary Clinton said neither she nor anyone else deleted work-related emails from her personal account. Was that true?
The email software was removed. That didn't remove the email content. The effect was that millions of email fragments ended up in the server's unused or slack space. This helped us
when
recover
McAfee gave.
work-related emails that were not among the 30,000 that were produced to state.
We went through a thorough process to identify all of my work-related emails and deliver them to the State Department.
Secretary Clinton said her lawyers read every one of the emails and were overly inclusive. Did her lawyers read the email content individually?
No. Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case.
Did
Because he'd
Donald
be
Trump
killed.
obstruct justice as you read the incidences as Mueller lays them out?
Well, I think there's enough there that any other person who had engaged in those acts would certainly have been indicted.
She's a horrible thing.
So basically, you set me up for it. What difference at this point does it make?
Mhm.
And that's what it is. And hey, guess what? Y'all got your degree from.
That's right.
That's all it is.
That's right.
They're lying. Lies. Lies. You live on a hill of lies.
All the lies.
No, it's just silliness. It's absurdity. It really is. And if you can't see it and you're out there being funded by or protesting for these things, these artificial creations to divide and conquer, then I'll just be honest with you, you're part of the problem and you need to wake up. I mean, you need to reinvent your mind a little bit and unlock your mind, because it's like, what are you doing? I mean, you're just engaging in the same old propaganda, the same old garbage. It's like, no, done. F you. You're not having your steak dinner. I'm not bringing the steak. I don't care what money you have. You're not getting it. Sorry. Not sorry.
Not sorry.
Get out of my restaurant. I'm seriously.
Get out of my life. Get out of my reality. Yeah. Oh man, it does feel like a lot's coming out. And so we need to all have grace for each other and ourselves. Do a little self-care, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Find good people. Surround yourself with good people. I mean, everybody in the chat. I mean, everybody's resonating with each other. I mean, you're finding good community and participate in that and do those things. Because, I mean, here's the other thing, I want to go back to the fluoride thing. All you got to do is get on, if you're in a small town, you got your own water supply, get on the freaking, board. I mean, get the 500 votes or 300 votes that it takes to get on there and say, hey, why are we putting this stuff in our water? Again, my analogy is, okay, if fluoride's good for you, it helps your teeth, then, I mean, how much is enough? It's like 1 aspirin might be good, but are 80 aspirin good? I mean, is that healthy? And it's the same thing with fluoride. I can have 1 glass of water, and it's like, okay, my teeth are great, and then I just drink 10, 20 glasses of water because I'm a constant water drinker. It's like, am I getting too much of this stuff? Because
Could
there's
be.
no regulation on it. It's just like, you can take as much as you want. I mean, when can you just take as much aspirin as you want, take as many, this or that you want? It's like, there
Over the
are
counter.
limits.
Really dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, the organs. It helps your teeth, but your pineal gland is now a rock, and now you can't see certain things, and you can't, I mean.
And you wouldn't know about the 30,000.
Does the investigation
No,
confirm that
3,000
there are missing
ballot.
ballot images?
I think it's 300,000. I think that's
Add zeros, decimal points.
yes. They revealed that
Do you know why 380,761 ballot images from Election Day machine count are not available?
Remember on a
We
perfect day.
subpoenaed Fulton County for all of their ballot images. We received approximately 518
Jennifer Mack's
ballot images.
movie
From
said
Election
that
Day?
it would start in Georgia.
Those are for the
Perfect
recount.
day.
Those are from the recount, but we have
Each.
no ballot images for 380,761 ballots from Election Day, correct?
What was subpoenaed was the ballot images for the recount because that's what this case was about, not the election day.
It's not the vote. It's who counts the votes.
Does Fulton County know why there are not 380,761 ballot images from Election Day?
As with the investigators, we have not been apprised of this allegation. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I have no idea what the basis of that allegation is, and so we would have to. Can't answer that at this time.
Would Fulton County agree that every vote should have a ballot image?
Thought that was interesting.
Oh, but they have every transaction that you've ever made at your bank,
Right.
and every time you go to the ATM, it spits out the right amount of money. But
And
the
every
voting
text you
machines
sent
can't
to your
seem to get it
mother.
right.
Yeah. Every text you sent to your mother. So Patrick Byrne retweeted that and said, if this stands, if this is a true statement or a fact that comes out of this case, then that means that there was no election, no accurate election in Georgia.
It's election interference. I've been saying it. Election interference. And then here's the thing: you're down to 1 court case now. Notice all the other ones. We really might not have anything, and so it's gone. You got 1 left. It's the Stormy. That one. Here you are.
Lord.
Oh my gosh! Let's take some selfies in the courthouse with the lawyer. I mean, what? Let's hang around the courthouse after. What? Why aren't you going and having your steak dinner? Why are you hanging out at the courthouse taking selfies and posting them? It's all a sham. It's all theater. Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up. I'm really excited about this weekend. I hope everybody rests and doesn't get any radiation, if that's even a thing, from one of our son-in-law or future son-in-law is from Alaska. And so when I was like, oh yeah, but it's supposed to have radiation, he's like, we have aurora borealis all the time.
Right. And so,
Not because of the solar storm, I guess, but
yeah. I mean, yeah. So
I don't know. Is it an excuse or is it a reason? That's what I'm curious about. So 14 days to stop the spread. Yet here we are.
Here it is.
That was another thing. So we went, Charlie's mom passed recently. We had to go pay some county taxes to keep the house from being auctioned. And we talked to the lady at the county clerk's office, and she said, this is the largest sale we've had. She's like, I mean, it's a lot. And I thought about, so it takes 4 years before your house goes up on auction, I guess. And so we're at that tipping point of the great infection, 2020. And now people have cut back on everything they possibly can. Prices are sky high. So
maxed out their credit cards, the highest
everyone's
interest,
maxed.
that they've ever seen.
The largest number of homes being auctioned in Oklahoma County that she can remember. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, because on the 4th year it goes up for auction. So it takes 4 years to
the lagging indicator.
take somebody's home. Yeah. And so it is a lagging indicator of when people couldn't keep up with life, with the daily cost of life in the last.
You got some stimulus, you got on SSI, you got a lot of the benefits, and now they've all run out. And now it's like, it used to be to where everybody's hiring. And I've seen that kind of slow down a little bit because people are like, well, I guess I got to go back to work. It's not falling apart yet. And so I go back to work. But now you got layoffs. And, you're watching the economy kind of grind to a halt. I see this electric car company, Rivian, that lost all kinds of money in the first quarter, but they're going to be okay. They'll be fine. More government stimulus and handouts.
Bailouts. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, we got Sausage King, JB, Hotel Hyatt owner, Pritzker, governor of Illinois coming down, giving, some more money to keep Rivian going when nobody's buying the stuff. And it's just, it's going to create more jobs though, and it's just like, it's just this, let's keep it going as long as we possibly can. And okay, it's starting to break. Okay, come out and let's say, yeah, we need COVID justice. We need to really investigate this stuff now. It wasn't me, scientists did it.
I just did what I was told.
Well, somebody else, exactly. Okay, instead of a commission to investigate it, let's have a trial like Nuremberg to investigate it. And let's get some real action. And I know, we've got a friend that says, 2025 astrologically, we're probably going to have Nuremberg trials. I mean, because enough people are going to wake up and say, okay, someone
needs to be held accountable. Yeah.
Yes.
This didn't just happen at us.
So don't come out and you see it coming out. Well, I wasn't part of it. I mean, I was lied to too. I'm injured. Oh, I'm taking ivermectin now. Oh,
Jeez. Accountability is a powerful thing because there can be laws. Like I was watching this documentary about the food industry, and during the Great Infection, a lot of grocery big chain, especially this documentary is about chains in Canada or something. So I wasn't as familiar with the companies, but they talked about how they got these subsidies to help these food deserts or whatever. And then instead of the dollar going to help lower the cost of food, they kept 60% or more of it for their own profits. And they had record profits during COVID.
Sure.
These grocery chains, because people were held hijacked. They didn't have another option. That's where you buy your food and that's how you get your food. And, but then there were no teeth in the bill to hold.
You should have had more fluoride. There'd be more teeth. Should have added more fluoride.
To hold the grocery stores accountable. It was just like all the rules were made to pass the money through, but not hold anyone accountable. So there's no accountability. There's no enforcement. There has to be, for there to be like freedom and justice, equality, you have to have enforcement and accountability with free markets. Otherwise, it will fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they will.
Instead, it's been propped and crutched up. I look at Illinois, and before COVID, I mean, it's like running billions of dollars in deficits and this and that. And now they're coming out, well, we're doing pretty well. Yeah, because you had the government print all this money up, create all this money out of nothing, and dump it on the states to kind of crutch them through. And so, we're doing okay. And it's like, no, you're really not doing okay. You're just a dead patient that's getting more defibrillators. And that's basically all it is, getting that heart. Keep pumping them up and inject some more, liquidity, currency, into the body. And to keep that dead man walking. And that's all it is. And, we're in the middle of it. And throughout the historical lens, we'll look back and had this discussion last night after Hash It Out to where, people are going to look back and say,
Oh, wait, he's hand talking. He'll be back. We'll see what he has to say right after, because he's coming back. I know he's coming back. Him and JFK. There he is.
Lost my network connection. And now it's
Oh.
back. Here we go. What time is it?
6:30.
Yeah, here we are. We're in the midst of it. So, but yeah, you've got, people look back through history and say, well, why didn't you do something? How could you not see this was happening? And here we are in the middle of it. And we kind of see it, but it's like you don't have the big picture. It's like looking at a daily chart on Bitcoin, versus looking at the 10-year chart.
Zoom
on
out.
Bitcoin.
Yes,
Right.
we need to zoom out to 1850.
Yeah, go back to 1859.
Go back. Oh man, now I can hear myself echoing, so we have to go. But
Oh, Lord.
um,
Thank you, everybody in the chat. You've graduated with a degree from.
the shit show.
Yeah.
Welcome. You got your FU. But we're grateful that you guys are here. And
Kindle meetup, which I will have details on soon, and you'll get an FU picture. We'll sign it and you can frame it.
Westwood.net.
Your diploma.
Yeah, to find more information about that, because we will, as many of us that can be there, will be there.
Yes.
And I hope to see all of you guys.
Get your
there.
gasoline now, store it up so that you can get to the meetup. And then
Hey,
get
I got
back.
grace. I can drive there.
Well, there you go. I'll have some diesel
even if
ready
all
for
the
you.
other cars go out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you. If we do lose any kind of communication because of solar, I want each and every one of you to know how much I appreciate you. And I love seeing you guys in the chat community. Oh gosh, it's really echoing. Communicating with the community. So, my love to each and every one of you. And I hope to see you guys on Monday with I Am For I Am.
They murdered my family. They thought they murdered me. My actions are not vengeance. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Telling you that. Do you get it? We are in a war. It's a digital war. You just watch what happened a couple minutes ago, and then you're wondering, but why doesn't he tell us this detail right here? Why? Why the fuck do you think I don't? Are you pissed yet? You've got days to save your country. And when people do what they have to do, don't be fussing like somebody is overstepping the line. If you hear that from somebody, tell them to shut the fuck up and get out of our face. We're not letting the seal stand. Take that and stuff it right up your ass. It's not gonna happen. Am I being clear enough to me?
I know it's listen.
My administration will be here for you every single step of the way. We've done everything we can do, and now we're just waiting for the storm. And I guess it's right behind me. It's following me.
We're on the front lines of the most important battle in history, and it is the battle to save democracy and freedom and human liberty and human dignity from this totalitarian cartel that is trying to rob us simultaneously in every nation in the world of the rights that every human being is born with. So thank you for your courage, thank you for your commitment, and thank you for your brotherhood. And I can pledge to you that I will go down dying with my boots on, fighting side by side with all of you to make sure that we return these rights and preserve them for our children. And I will see all of you on the barricades. Thank you.
I'm gonna pull the whole thing down. I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.